here to present AB 2664, the Safe Worship Zone Act, a bill that ensures that all people can attend their place of worship without fear or harassment. This is a bill that is a priority of the Legislative Jewish Caucus because, frankly, this is our lives every day when we show up to worship in our synagogues. When I drop my kids off at Sunday school, I drive through a gate that I have to have a clicker for. On the other side is an armed guard. And my kids' doors have been replaced in case an active shooter comes in. This is what it means to worship in a synagogue in 2026. This should feel, and when I was growing up, my synagogue was my second home. It was one of the places I felt most safe. And yet today we live in a world that is divided, full of hate, not just of the Jewish community, I'm just speaking of my own lived experience, where houses of worship no longer feel as safe as they should. And we have seen here in California that people who are entering their synagogues or mosques, churches, other places of worship, as they enter, they are surrounded, they are yelled at, they're often trying to enter to pray, to pick up their kids at Sunday school or preschool or whatever is happening inside the facility. And so this bill is incredibly simple. It actually takes a narrow approach that is more protective of the First Amendment than a buffer zone. It says you can be within 100 feet of the place of worship, but within that 100 feet, you can't come within 8 feet of the person entering or exiting. As I walk into my place of worship, I get a little bubble. It's like kindergarten where you get your space, your personal space, so you can walk in, people can express their First Amendment opinions, but I get to walk in and out without fear, intimidation, or harassment.
AB 2664 undermines this long-standing democratic practice by restricting speech within 100 feet of places of religious worship, which would needlessly include our public sidewalks and in many places even a person's private residence or commercial property. In McClellan v. Coakley, the Supreme Court ruled that the Massachusetts 35-foot buffer zone constituted an extreme step of closing a substantial portion of a traditional public forum to all speakers. The court made clear that buffer zones, including those with floating buffers, around specific locations within public fora, satisfy the First Amendment only if the government has compiled a substantial record justifying the need for such a buffer zone. And even if the government can establish a sufficient record of problems at a place of religious worship, it would still need to demonstrate that it attempted to employ other, more narrowly tailored methods to address them without success.
What people think is free speech has turned into borderline riots. It's turned into people intimidating others into thinking that they're not secure, they're in danger, and unfortunately, this is what it takes. Whether you're free speeching within 100 feet of the religion, you still get the free speech. You can yell at people from 100 feet away. You don't need to be in their face. You don't need to be waving signs, practically hitting them, making it look like you're going to hit them, throwing things, maybe not at them, but at their feet. That's not protest. That's not peaceful protest. Peaceful protest, nobody, the line is blurred. And unfortunately, because of that, now we have to have bills that come out that help define that a little bit better. When you go on a freeway and people walk onto the freeway and start blocking the road, that's not a peaceful protest. That is violating the rights of people that are trying to go live their lives. And so this is a compromise between two of our sacred rights, the right to protest and the right to practice your religion.
And really what we're trying to do with this bill is to balance people's right to exercise their constitutional right to practice their faith of choice without fear of intimidation or violence.
What is happening to our community, I sincerely believe that not just for my own community does the state have a significant interest in moving this legislation forward, but for all communities of faith.